Okay, very sorry, this might be a bit grainy. I had to resort to using my iPad Air because my Note 3 is on its last leg. Every time I decide to buy a new piece of technology, the current piece of technology decides to die, which is why we're here, because my current machine, motherboard from like 2012 and CPU and all that sort of stuff, is realizing that it's time to be replaced and it's starting to die in the ass. So, here we have the new machine, workstation, ASRock Extreme 4, 2011. Version 3. We've got some G.Skill DDR4. It's PC4 2400. It's a quad core set. Quad DDR set. I'm not well and haven't had much sleep. Anyway, it's a quad match set. 4 8GB sticks, 32GB RAM. In the center there, we have underneath that liquid cooler. It wasn't supposed to be a Cooler Master, it was supposed to be a H100i, but things didn't go as I expected, and I had to, last resort type of thing. But this, under there is a Xeon, it's a Xeon E5 2658 V3. It's a 12 core, 24 thread, 30 meg cache. CPU, 2.2 gigahertz. I think it ramps up to around about 3.1, 3.2, something like that. It ramps up pretty high. I have spec'd this out pretty heavily. The entry level CPU for these boards is like the 5820K, which you can overclock, but it's only 6 core, 12 thread, which is pretty cool, but comes in at about $550. You might be able to get it for less than 500 if you buy it on eBay, but nobody likes to buy a CPU, especially when you're paying that kind of money on eBay. It rocks up and it's dead. That being said, I did buy this on eBay. It's an engineering spec product. I got it for $200. So I'm of the opinion if this works, it's awesome. I've seen a few other guys do it. I'm currently running a Xeon processor in my current system, workstation motherboard, 1150. Might be 1151, I can't remember. But it's an E3 1230 V2. It's a complete identical spec, like completely identical to the 3770K. So it's going back a couple of generations, but it was the same as the 3770K. Can't overclock it, didn't really bother me too much. It's been ramping like a mofo for years. Just recently I've been doing a lot of work, a lot of processing stuff, a lot of indexing. I'm using PHP Storm, doing a lot of indexing, Git sort of stuff. It pushes, that's the only point in time when it really pushes it hard. It's starting to max out. I've seen tests of that processor with this processor in the same category. This one's twice as fast as that one. I think that one scored about 830. This one scored like 1580 or something like that on a PC Mark test. So the 12 cores, I need to scale out, not up. I'd like to overclock and go faster, but it's more important for me to have more cores. I think I'll get more of a benefit out of that, but we will see. Great thing about it is, if I'd gone for an i7 system, 6700K type of thing, you'd go for the 6700K. That's it. There's no scaling up anymore. That's the fastest. That's as fast as you're going to get. Whereas here, there's 5820, and then right up to 5960X, and then there's that new ridiculous 6800 or 67. I can't remember the it's so stupid because it's like a $2,500 processor in Australia, over $2,000 for a CPU, and yes, it's like 10 or 20 cores or something. It's not much different to this, except the fact that it's 4 gigahertz. Obviously there's differences, but all that being said, this is an exceptionally cost-effective system that can be easily upgraded. As you can see, I'm running 32 gig of memory, and I've got the ability to put in another 4 sticks, go 64, hey, go 128 if you really want. I only use that much memory because I run 4 or 5 different virtual machines on my system all the time for development work, and I usually use between 22 and 28 gig. I'm pretty sure this system is going to be a lot more efficient than my current one, and I won't use as much memory. Unfortunately, let's see if I can pull this off for a second. Just under there, just in there, that is a Samsung 950 Pro 256 gig M.2 NVMe. I shouldn't have put the card on before I started filming. I would have loved one of the other motherboards, like the Asus. I think Asus have one, or Gigabyte, where they actually show the M.2 down the bottom. If you're going to spend this kind of money on a system, show it off. It looks cool. I've got like my favorite case, which is the NZXT S340. That's actually a full ATX case. It's going to be beautiful. I'll show you some shots as soon as I get all the gear in there. But for now, we're going to... I've got everything in place. I'm just double checking my monitor. Come on. I don't want to edit. Oh, there we go, DVI. So that video card's a GTX 560. It's an old one that I've got. I'm hopefully going to get... I mean, I'd love to get... Probably shouldn't say it, but I'd love to get a RX 480 only because it's cheap. I don't game enough to warrant spending upwards of $350 to $450 on a good card. I've been speccing cards, watching videos, looking at stuff. My biggest concern is that I run 4 monitors. I love 4 monitors. I've been going up and up and up for the last 10 years, from 2 to 3 to 4. The 4 scenario is fantastic. My next stage up will not be an extra monitor. It'll be replacing the 27-inch in the middle with a 2K. I don't know if 3K is sensible, but again, because it's not for gaming, it's just for work. I think a 2560 by 1440, 29 to 32 inch in the middle there would be great. And then maybe that 27, I'll probably end up giving that 27 inch to my son because he's an awesome dude. And then take his 24 and put it over there somewhere. Predominantly, I just want a good video card that I can play all my monitors on out of one card, because I've currently got 2, and it does weird things because they're cheap cards. Priced it the other day, less than 250 bucks. I can get an R9 380. It's a reasonably good card. I'll still be able to game on it. I love GTA 5. I haven't played it on PC. I used to play it on Xbox. Then I could play it on PC. Yada yada yada. It'll work fine for a 1920 by 1080 type of deal. Nothing special. I don't need massive settings and all that sort of stuff. I just want to be able to play. I mean, I can play the game on my laptop, for Christ's sake. You know, it's got a GTX 860 in my laptop. It's an M, of course, but you know, I've tried it there, I've played it there, it's fine. So if I really wanted to, I could do that. But anyway, this is just for testing. Cooler Master is last minute. I was supposed to, my current system, which is running down there, it has a Corsair H90, which I was going to use on this for the interim when that one gets retired. But of course, I forgot to double check and make sure that I've still got all the mounting equipment, and there's very special lugs that you need to mount 2011s. I can't find them. So I went, screw it. And you know what? I think I just found them. Oh, you bitch. I did. They're right there. Okay, that's awesome. Doesn't matter. So I've got a 240 rad. It should do okay. It's not being overclocked. It's low CPU, but it's low gigahertz. It's low frequency. Sorry, I'm taking a lot of medication because I've got a bad cold. So I think that one will be fine. I'd love a H100i GTX, like the newer ones, or H105, but I think this will do fine. Like I said, I'm not overclocking it. I got some pretty calibrated cables. Once I stick it in the case, it's going to be all sexy. But for now, I've just plugged it all in. Motherboard, memory rocked up today. CPU has been here for a while. I just raced out and, like, you know, 5:45 and bought the Cooler Master. We're going to turn this thing on. This is my wonderful setup. See, I went to Bunnings, got this really cool workshed bench. It's like $100, and then stuck it on top of the desk, and it makes this really cool PC workshop. Sorry, the video is probably crap because it is on my iPad too. Gotta do what you gotta do. Let's see what happens. We have boot. You have lights. Fans are ramping up. That's running. Lights down there. And post! Baby! First go. Love your work. It's awesome. I'll come back shortly.